I used to think this was the dumbest thing I'd ever seen a successful person do. A guy worth over $200 million, standing in his kitchen at 5 a.m., talking to himself in the mirror like he's rehearsing for a play nobody invited him to. I saw the clip, I laughed, I scrolled past it. Stupid, right? Grown man talking to his own reflection, saying things like, "Today is going to be a great day," like he's a cartoon character. Except 6 months later I was broke, behind on rent, and watching my competitors get contracts I should have gotten. And when I actually sat down and studied what separates people who make it from people who stay stuck forever, that stupid habit kept showing up, over and over, in different forms, from different people, all saying the same thing in different words. So today I'm going to break down exactly what this habit is, why it works, why almost nobody sticks with it because it feels embarrassing, and how I used it to completely turn my situation around. Stay till the end because the fourth thing I discovered about this habit is the one that actually changed everything for me, and almost nobody talks about it. Let's get into it. The habit. So here's what it actually is. Stripped of all the fluff. Talking to yourself. Out loud. On purpose. Every single day. Not venting. Not complaining under your breath about traffic. Deliberately structured self-talk, usually first thing in the morning, sometimes in a mirror, sometimes just out loud in an empty room. And I get it. I get why your gut reaction is the same as mine was. It feels insane. It feels like something you'd be embarrassed for your roommate to walk in on. But here's the thing that made me stop laughing. Tony Robbins does it. Oprah does it. Serena Williams has talked about doing it before matches. Arnold Schwarzenegger has described literally writing out affirmations and saying them to himself before he had a single dollar to his name. Back when he was an immigrant with an accent everyone made fun of and a bodybuilding dream everyone told him was a joke. These aren't broke motivational speakers selling you a course. These are people who built empires, and they will all tell you, without blinking, that some version of talking to themselves was part of how they did it. So I figured, fine. If it's dumb, it's dumb. But if it worked for people at that level, maybe I was the one missing something. Why it actually works. Here's the part nobody explains properly, and it's the reason I stopped feeling stupid doing it. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a thought and a spoken sentence in terms of how much attention it gives it. When you just think something, it's one voice in a crowd of thousands of other thoughts firing at the same time. Your brain barely notices it, but the second you say something out loud, your brain treats it differently. It hears it. It processes it the way it processes information coming from outside of you, which means it takes it more seriously. This is actually backed by research on something called self-talk and performance psychology. Studies on athletes have shown that structured, out-loud self-talk before high-pressure moments measurably improves focus and performance compared to silent thinking. Your brain isn't just hearing words, it's rehearsing an identity. Every time you say, "I'm the kind of person who follows through," you are quite literally training your nervous system to expect that version of you to show up. Most people are running on autopilot, absorbing whatever thought floats through their head first thing in the morning. Usually something like, "I don't want to get up," or "I have so much to do," or "I'm so behind." And then they wonder why the whole day feels heavy. This habit interrupts that. It's you getting to the microphone before the noise does. How I actually started doing it. I'm not going to pretend I nailed this on day one, because I didn't. The first few times I tried talking to myself out loud in the mirror, I felt like a complete idiot. I'd get 2 sentences in and just start laughing at myself, or I'd hear a noise outside and panic like someone was about to catch me mid-affirmation. So I changed the approach. Instead of trying to do some big dramatic "I am a winner" speech, I kept it simple and specific. Every morning, 3 sentences, out loud, before I touched my phone. 1 sentence about who I was choosing to be that day. 1 sentence about the single, most important thing I needed to get done. 1 sentence reminding myself why I was doing any of this in the first place. That was it. 3 sentences, 30 seconds, maybe less. By about day 5, it stopped feeling ridiculous and started feeling like the only part of my morning that was actually mine. Everything else in my day was reactive emails, messages, other people's problems. This was the one moment where I got to set the terms before the world set them for me. What I noticed changing. The first shift wasn't external, it was internal, and it happened faster than I expected. Within about 2 weeks, I noticed I was catching myself mid-spiral less often. You know that thing where one bad text or one bad meeting sends your whole mood into the floor for the rest of the day? That happened to me constantly. It started happening less because I had this one anchor point every morning reminding me who I was choosing to be, regardless of what happened after. Then the external stuff started catching up. I stopped procrastinating on the one task I said out loud every morning, because saying it out loud made it feel like a promise instead of just an item on a list. There's something different about breaking a promise to yourself that you spoke into a room versus just skipping a line on a to-do list you barely glanced at. Within 2 months, I'd landed the biggest client I'd had all year. Coincidence? Maybe partially. But I genuinely believe that showing up as someone who had already decided out loud every single day that they were capable and focused made me carry myself differently in every single meeting I walked into. The fourth thing, the one nobody talks about. Now, here's what I promised you at the beginning, the thing that actually made the biggest difference, and it has nothing to do with confidence or affirmations. It's that talking to yourself out loud forces you to actually finish a thought. Most of us never finish our thoughts. We start worrying about something and jump to the next worry before we've even processed the first one. We start a plan in our head and abandon it 3 seconds later because a notification popped up. But when you speak a sentence out loud, you have to complete it. You can't half say a sentence the way you can half think a thought. And that one small discipline, forcing yourself to complete a thought from start to finish every single morning, started bleeding into everything else. I finished projects I used to abandon. I finished conversations I used to avoid. I finished plans instead of letting them dissolve into, I'll think about it later. That's the real habit underneath the habit. It's not about hyping yourself up. It's about training yourself to follow a thought all the way through, out loud, where you can't hide from it. Try it yourself. So if you want to try this, don't overthink it. Don't wait until you feel confident enough to do it, because that day never comes. Tomorrow morning, before you touch your phone, say 3 sentences out loud. Who you're choosing to be today. What the one thing is that actually matters. Why you're doing any of this in the first place. It will feel stupid. It felt stupid to me too. Do it anyway. Let me know in the comments. If you try this, I actually read every single one, and I want to know how day 1 goes for you. If this helped you see things differently, hit like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe because I'm breaking down more of these habits every week. See you in the next one.